In the time since I last spoke to you all about the urgent need for legislation, at least 5 more children have lost their lives. How many more children need to die until you take action? I am determined to use my platform and resources to make a difference. And the Stop Institutional Child Abuse Act is where we need to start to address these abuses. I believe the greatest thing one could ever do is change history for others. And that is why I fought tirelessly for 2.5 years to ensure lawmakers understand the gravity of this issue on the state and federal level.
Look, there are sometimes when celebrities, I think, waste the platform they have or engage in politics in a way that is not helpful. And then there are times when I think they use their platform to draw attention to something that is not being fixed and perhaps isn't even being talked about on a high level. And I think we have a case of that right here with Paris Hilton attempting to draw people's attention and hopefully shift Congress to do something about this institutionalized abuse, in some cases assault and sexual assault that she has seen, that she has experienced, and a lot of credit to her to doing that. She said on Twitter, after years of advocating to reform the troubled teen industry, I'm back in D.C. to introduce the Stop Institutional Child Abuse Act. This bill is so personal to me as a survivor, and I'm so proud we've gotten to this huge milestone. Apparently, she has been working on this for 2 years. Here's some details about what they want to do with the act. Pledges greater accountability and data transparency from the network of residential facilities under mounting pressure to reform due to revelations of rampant physical, sexual, and emotional abuse of children. The Stop Institutional Child Abuse Act would create a work group tasked with developing recommendations to minimize the use of residential care and improve treatment of youth sent to live in such settings. And so what you saw there was a little bit from a gathering that did not just involve Paris Hilton or the media, but also nonprofit advocacy groups, as well as a number of people who have experienced the sort of abuse that she's trying to draw attention to. She talked additionally about her own experience, saying that she had firsthand experience with traumatizing solitary confinement, being given sedatives, being like physically thrown around. She said, it's still so difficult for me to speak about all the extremely painful physical, emotional, and even sexual abuse out loud. So this is not the first time that she's tried to draw attention to this, even successfully, including getting legislation passed in Utah. As of right now, progress in terms of Congress on this bill has hit some roadblocks. They're attempting to break through that. And so we're gonna give you more details, but Brett, what do you think?
I mean, anytime anytime anyone uses their platform for good, we should at least do them the courtesy of listening to what they have to say. And there's so much that gets a lot of attention in the news cycle that occasionally something like this will, and a lot of stuff that gets attention that shouldn't really get attention. But occasionally they point out something that I didn't even know about, didn't really spend much time thinking about. And then when you find out about it, you realize, you then kind of run back in your mind what you think about the person who's sending the message. And a lot of it, was definitely unfair of a lot of folks to, to think about Paris Hilton, not knowing what she went through. And you have to respect her even more, looking at the fight that she is waging right now to make sure that those kinds of things that happen to her don't happen to anybody else in the future.
Exactly, yeah, and it's the sort of thing, you sort of touched on this, that like if you stop and think about it, yeah, you expect, almost certainly, I guess that abuse probably does exist. It probably is terrible, but it isn't the sort of thing that I think a lot of people who have been lucky enough to not have had to experience that would think about.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.